loveys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jenalyn.
And I'm Jillian.
We're identical twins, and this is Twin Spin. It's our spin on all things health, beauty, and fitness, and today we have two very special guests. They're new moms, and they're going to introduce themselves, so go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm Allison, and my son Gavin is 9 months old.
I'm Lana, and my son Cristiano is also 9 months old.
Yeah, so we just started an Instagram called Bedtimes and Bottles, and there's a website too. And we both just were super anxious when our babies were born about their sleep and really about everything, but mainly their sleep and our lack of sleep. So
Both important.
Yeah, so we wanted to start something for other moms to tell them basically all the things that like we didn't know, but we should have known. That people just like don't tell you.
Yeah, there's so many things that you just have no idea, but I feel like a lot of them are pretty simple things, but you just don't know ahead of time until you have a baby. So we wanted to, like, we know there's so many people that are thinking about having kids or that just had newborns, and even just little tiny tidbits can make all of the difference, because I feel like I just don't think I was as prepared as I thought I was.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Jenna and I are at. So I've been married for 2 years, and Jenna's been married for almost 1.
Yeah, almost.
And eventually, we're starting to think about having kids now, and so we wanted to ask both of you, like, I know people say that you're never ready, but right. But if you could go back maybe and tell your pre-mama self, like, any tips or any advice, especially for me and Jenna for wannabe moms.
And a lot of our friends are at that same age, kind of.
One of my friends at work that had kids before had said, she's like, you can still do all of the things that you're currently doing. It's just based off of the baby's schedule. And I think when you have a newborn, the first thing you think is, my life is over, is like, I mean, I hate to say that because I love my son so much, but you feel like you're never gonna get on a schedule because it just is so crazy. But then they do get on a schedule, and you really just learn to balance everything, the same way you did before. They just become part of
Your new balance.
your
basically.
new balance.
It's
Yeah.
actually great advice, because it's something I worry about. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to go to the grocery store when I want, or we both work out in the morning.
Yeah.
Even
so-
just being pregnant, like, I'm just, like, scary.
Well, that's the thing, is that,
Yeah.
like, we were both, we would be like, well, how much weight are we going to gain? And, and this, and this. And it's like, none of that even matters. At the end
Looking
of the
back,
pregnancy, it's the baby that's the hard part. Pregnancy is,
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's how people think. For me, I'm like, oh, I just have to get through, like, the pregnancy, and then, like you said, then that's when it starts getting hard.
enjoy the
Like,
pregnancy.
Yeah, yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah, it's similar for me too. I'm very controlling. I always have been. I like my house clean. I like things done. Like, I don't like to be behind on things. And I think I just wish I would have known that you will always be behind when you have a baby forever, for the rest of your life. But it does get easier. Like she said, those newborn days, like the first couple of months, truly feel impossible, and you even sometimes think, like, what did I get myself into? But like now, I don't know if you agree, but like it's so easy.
Yeah,
Like-
they're really good boys, and I think that they reflect off of your energy too.
Oh, for sure.
know,
Yeah, that's
and,
another good one.
Um,
If you're nervous, they'll be nervous. Like if you're worked up, they will be too.
yeah.
Little things like that make a big difference.
But the sleep thing for both of us was huge. I feel like especially me, because like I was like getting ready to go back to work, and he still wasn't sleeping through the night. And he didn't sleep through the night when I went back, and it was okay because he was only getting up once, so it wasn't too bad. But I was determined to get him sleeping well.
And you did.
I did.
Yeah,
So now,
replace it all.
now he sleeps great.
So that goes to like your ebook and how you guys started a sleep routine. Or-
Yes, yeah, we're kind of more now just focusing on like helping individual people, and like with their situation, but
Kind of like one-on-one counseling?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Both of us used sleep consultants.
yes,
Because, I don't know, when you're thinking about becoming a mom, like you said, you just don't think that lack of sleep is going to be a problem. You think, like, I'm just going to put my baby down and they're just going to sleep. And that's
Yeah.
it.
I didn't know there was such a thing as
Yeah, for
a
sure.
sleep
Because
consultant.
neither.
Yeah.
Neither did we.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
this
we
is
didn't.
new.
And so, and nobody tells you that. And nobody tells you in the hospital.
I became obsessed with
Yeah.
I read everything. I was determined to, just get him sleeping those. Even at first, you're like, well, you just sleep for 3 hours straight, because if you can sleep for 3 to 4 hours straight, and they eat and they usually fall back asleep. Like, knock on wood, well, actually he's not a newborn anymore, but he never was up all night. Like, I never had one night where he just stayed up.
Like, didn't go to
You
bed
know,
at all.
you did.
Yeah.
He always fell back asleep eventually, but I'm just a brat about sleep. Like, if I don't get good sleep and I have anxiety, and it was so much worse when on the mornings where he didn't sleep good, and I'm like, I have to get this taken care of, you know, and figure it out. I can't be getting up all hours of the night just nursing him and then putting it back down. And they are so much smarter than we give them credit for. They catch on really easily, babies do.
Yeah, so that was kind of like what we wanted to do, was just offer something for new moms and even women who are pregnant, because it's stuff that you really should know before your baby comes home. So we're offering, like, we would actually go into people's homes and help them out, because that was our main thing. I knew what to do. I just was too nervous to let my baby cry a little bit and like get on the schedule.
And Gavin, I feel like, was more challenging with that
sure.
than Christiana was. I slept trained him, but it was really easy. He, you know, it only took a couple days, but getting him to sleep through the night was where I actually reached out for help, because I didn't want to. I thought he was going to cry all night if I didn't feed him, you know, but he didn't.
Right. And we just want to make it like more known to people that this is an option, like you said. So.
Well, it's really helping us, and you guys are inspiring us to learn more before we even think
sure.
about getting pregnant.
But don't stress yourself out either. Don't worry too much.
But if you can worry about it before,
yes.
Like if you're gonna worry anyway, you might as well worry before.
Exactly, yeah.
Like when you have the time.
Yeah, or like you said, just educate yourself. And
Yeah.
you guys are doing a great job, like, educating a lot of women. I mean,
that's the whole
with the
deal.
ebook.
And then we'd offer phone consults too, and just kind of.
Yeah, and Allison thought of a good idea. Like, why don't we just have people fill out this questionnaire, and for $25 you can basically have your own plan based on your baby, because that's the other thing. There's so many different ways to do things, and a lot of the approaches that we read were so cut and dry. And they don't have to be like that. It can be more adapted towards your
It needs
baby.
to be personalized. And you guys have talked about all the differences between your sons.
Yeah.
So not everyone's going to be,
for sure.
this is what you need to do when they're have totally different
And that's
problems.
what the books tell you. They'll say in there. And
Or
even,
some babies just sleep super well from the beginning. And we were like, well, maybe they'll just, you know, and they just weren't.
No.
But I think it happened for a reason.
Don't you remember when we were pregnant? And, well, I went 10 days over, and you were 10 days early, right? Was that the number?
Yeah, 9.
So,
I was 9 days early.
Okay, so 9 and 9.
Yeah.
And we had basically the same due date. They were like a day or two apart. And we were stressing so much about getting ourselves into labor. Like do you remember we made
at
cookies?
the end,
we
you
did
just want
everything.
to get you're so
and
uncomfortable.
Like looking back on that, like that is so not the stuff that like you should have been worrying about. So it's just really hard when you're new at this, because nobody tells you these little things, and we just want to tell people those little things.
Well, we're definitely excited to hear more coming from you guys.
For sure. And then a couple other questions we wanted to ask, because Jen and I are both really into, you know, natural and more safer products. And I'm sure that's going to become a whole new world for us when we have babies of our own that you want to protect against, you know, harsh ingredients and plastics and
Toxins.
anything that's out there. So what do you guys do to kind of like research your products, or is there any
I like the
things
Think
that you
Dirty
have?
app that you guys have. I was using that for a few years, and I really like Baby Ganix sunscreen, so that's a good brand.
I've heard of this.
And I use a lot of oils with him, even from when he was there's different like opinions on when you should use them, but I was like, maybe this will help him sleep, or this will help his stomach, or that, you know, so I just diluted them a lot. And yeah, what about you?
We do the Honest Company subscription box. So we get
is that what you do? Oh,
I saw your Honest soap. I do like that brand.
I should do that.
I use the Honest Mascara.
Yes. So we get that every month. We do laundry soap, hand soap, body lotion, and those are all mainly things for me. Because, like, I never realized before he was born, like, my fingers are always in his mouth. So, like, if I'm washing my hands with, like, Bath & Body Works scented stuff, like, that's going in his mouth. We use coconut oil for everything.
Yes, I like coconut oil, too.
And a lot of essential oils. And then...
Young Living, I use their hand soap.
And you guys got me the Beauty Counter sunscreen, which I like that one.
That reminded me of the lipstick. So Beauty Counter talks about like the lipstick that's on your lips you're kissing your baby with. So like,
that's true.
I
I
know.
have like Kylie lipstick on right now.
It looks great. I always see that picture in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And the Burt's Bees is good for that.
Oh
Burt's
yeah,
Burt's
I
Bees
love
has a great
Burt's
natural line
Bees.
that's affordable.
Yeah,
for sure.
Their
for
clothes
babies and
are so cute
oh, yeah,
too.
that's
Burt's
true.
Bees baby clothes. They're so soft.
Yeah.
Love their stuff.
I think the one thing, in my opinion, that's really hard to do well and like healthy and like good products is diapers. We use Target diapers.
Oh yeah.
Because that's just what works for him. And
I've
like,
heard a lot about that.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Whether
ever thought of
wash
doing the
them
claw?
or-
No.
I mean, maybe for a minute I thought
Right,
about
nope.
it, and but
I
no.
know.
I mean, when you have a new, they
I've seen it.
over and over and over.
and you just
yeah.
kind of have to decide, like, when you do have a baby, because obviously you don't want chemicals, you don't want all these harsh things, but there are just some things that, like, you have to use.
You
for
do
a
your
baby.
best
Yes.
that you can do.
If you can
Prioritize. You can't
Yes.
stress. I mean, if you stress about every little thing, you're not
Right.
going to enjoy
Right.
your baby, basically.
That-
I know,
right,
and even
right.
you know, because Allison's still nursing, and I switched to formula after like 3.5 months, just because he was so sensitive to everything, and that's a whole other topic is breastfeeding. That's
Right.
probably, well, it wasn't as stressful for her, but for me, it was the most stressful thing from the beginning, and he ended up getting the hang of it, but it was never perfect. But even still, like, he's using a dairy formula, and I kind of secretly feel guilty that I'm giving him that, because I don't even drink regular milk, you know?
Yourself, right.
But like she said, picking your battles, and I don't really want to spend more money on a natural
And it
one.
works for him.
And the one he's on is the one the doctor recommended, and it's been fine. So, yeah, I mean,
It's important to find what works for him and what works for you.
This is a side note, but did an OT or speech ever like help you with breastfeeding if you were ever having like trouble like in the hospital or anything?
the lactation consultants did, but I don't know. I felt so much pressure.
Like it was just too much at one time.
And you're exhausted. You'll
It's not
just,
the time in the hospital. Like, I feel
no,
like.
and you know, just didn't latch right away. And I always just think back to like, okay, if this didn't happen in the olden days, if the baby didn't latch well, they would either have to give them a bottle, or the baby would probably like die, you know? I mean, not to
Right.
get dark, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I always wonder about that. I'm like, is that what happened to these babies that just didn't learn to nurse? And he did get the hang of it, but I had to use a shield. He never quite latched on without that. It's like a little plastic thing that I didn't know existed until I had a baby.
Right, yeah.
Another thing.
Yeah, so I did use that, and then when I went back to work, he was so gassy and all that stuff resolved itself, but that can be super stressful if it doesn't go well, because all you want to do is give them the milk that your body was designed to make for them, and the breast milk is so good for them, but when it's at the cost of your sanity, it might not be worth it, you know?
Right. That's good advice too. Because you're right. I feel like that's a whole
Because you
other
have to take
topic
care of
that-
yourself 1st
Yeah.
before
So that you
take
can
care of
take the
baby.
best care. of
And
your
that's
baby.
something that now you can look back on and be like, okay,
Yes.
see, everything worked out like
It
after
did.
all that stress. What about fitness? So I know you guys met at the gym. How has it been like before and then adjusting now? I know like probably schedule wise it's a challenge.
I think we're both morning workout people too. I mean, if I do work out at night, it's rare, and I don't feel like I give
you don't
the
like
same
it,
effort.
basically?
No, I just don't have the energy. I'm like, if I don't do it in the morning, like Allison said, if I don't do it in the morning, I won't do it, and I'm pretty much the same way. So I actually started getting up before work and doing some classes. You know, I have to be in a class, or else I just don't feel like I give my full effort.
I do too now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like that before.
You had,
Yeah.
so definitely change kind of like your mindset
I
with
used to be
working
a
out.
personal trainer. Like,
Yeah.
I know what to do. But it's just so hard when you have such like a limited amount of time.
Right. Well,
That's
it's
like
nice.
me too. Like
Yeah.
I would do group fitness, but I know how to do my own workout.
Yeah.
I'm just not challenged enough.
I know.
I'll be like, oh, I'm done. I
Yeah,
didn't do
for
anything.
sure.
Or I'll do everything. Like
Yep.
I'll be like I be there for 3 hours. Like that's not an effective workout either.
Yeah. One of my
So.
biggest tips for like fitness after a baby is either get up, like she said, before work, but mine is like get up before the baby, because I stay home with him, and even if I don't use that time to work out, like I use it to do other things so that I have time to work out later.
Just
because
like take some time for yourself. Like
because
basically.
he likes to watch me work out at home. And I do a lot of
I
at
should
home
try
workouts.
that.
And he just thinks it's hysterical. Like he sits on the floor and giggles, and I work out truly for like a half hour. It's great. And so it like
nice.
kills
Breaks
two
up the
birds.
day,
Yes, it kills two birds with one stone.
And then in the morning
like,
you could get stuff done that you couldn't
Yes.
have him, watch you. and-
Exactly. Yeah. So
That
that's a
makes
big
sense.
one too. And walks are really big. Once
Yes,
you have,
they
when you're
love
pregnant and
walks.
have a baby.
Yeah, that's why Michigan, it's hard because we
Yep.
both had babies right as it was getting cold. So I
Yep.
feel like we had like maybe a month.
We had a hard time in the winter.
A lot of girls I'm friends with from high school and college and stuff that have summer babies right now, I'm secretly jealous
Yeah.
because I would love to have a newborn right now.
Well, and the other part of that is that if you have a baby in the winter, in flu season, which we both
Oh,
did,
it was, yes,
they
right in
recommend
flu
that
season.
you doctors truly tell you that you shouldn't take them out for like 8 to 10 weeks. Like that you should just stay home.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
really hard. And that's scary too. Like
I
thinking
know.
about it, like, okay, I won't go anywhere.
I still went places, but my husband was paranoid. You know, I would always keep him covered, and I thought, okay, really, there's probably not much that can happen. I think they don't want other people like touching them and you know, interacting.
You hear
and
some
kissing.
horror stories.
It's true though, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how guilty would I have felt if something did happen? You know, but for my sanity, I had to get out of the house. I got so stir crazy.
I was gonna say there's already like seasonal depression, but then add that you like can't get out of your
So
house.
hard.
Like,
Yeah, so I mean, we tried to plan for him, but it took me longer than I wish it would have to get pregnant. But if it works this time, hopefully I'll have a summer baby next time. We'll see.
that works out.
Because I would love it.
I was thinking that too,
now.
but you just never know. Like, were
You
you
really
guys
don't.
trying for a long time, or?
I tried for about 8 months. It took us a while, which in the grand scheme is not that long, but
Right.
like
But when you really are trying, it is long.
we're like, why is this not happening?
Right.
So it did take me a while. It didn't take you that long, did it? A couple months? Yeah.
We got married October 2017, and then we started trying as soon as we got back from our honeymoon. And I got pregnant in January. And actually, I went into labor on our anniversary, on
Oh
our
my
first year
goodness.
anniversary.
What a gift.
Meant to be,
Uh,
right?
Well, I was secretly really happy that he was born the next day, so that
So you can still have your day.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
okay. So as far as like body image and like your sense of self and confidence after having babies, were you guys at
Or
with
during.
that?
Or during.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
Jenna's more worried about during. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just feel
no,
like
I
my
have
husband
You guys are
hates
gonna be
pregnant
adorable.
people.
Yeah.
He like
terrible.
comments. I'm like, it's gonna be me.
oh,
She has like a fear of being pregnant, I think.
being pregnant.
a little
is
bit.
Mine's like the
easiest
after, I
part
think.
of it, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people, I think we both had pretty smooth pregnancies. So, like, some people are
Yeah.
sick the whole time. So, I'm very grateful that we had smooth pregnancies.
Yeah.
I don't know, the body image thing, I'm still working on that. It's hard. I think, well, if you nurse, usually, I know that some people say you don't, when I was nursing, the weight fell right off, you know, but your body is still, you know, your hips are probably a little bit wider. They might not ever be as narrow as they were before. Yeah, I know. I mean, mine were already wide, so now they're, yeah. But it's hard. I mean, I don't know, maybe you can touch more. I'm so negative about it.
It's
just hard.
I just remember thinking, like, before I got pregnant, like, when I got married, I don't know if you guys felt like this when you got married, but, like, I was in the best shape of my life. I worked my butt off for my wedding, and I still thought I needed to lose weight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And, like, looking back on it now, it's like, what was wrong with me? Like, oh my gosh, I look at, like, my wedding pictures, and I'm like, I looked amazing. Like, and now I'm like, oh god. It's really hard because your body is so different. But, like, I don't know, what
It's kind of just like loving your body through those changes. Like, I did bodybuilding, and I looked, and I was like, I thought I was in the best shape then.
Yeah.
I look back at those pictures, and I'm like, I looked like I
my
needed
God, I
to
wanna
eat.
see-
You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like, I just, like, I looked so little. Like, I looked
She was
sick.
like under 100, so it was just really easy to
my
compare
gosh.
because
But, like,
Yes.
it's,
Yeah.
like, life changes. Like, I'm glad that I did that, but now I'm like, I was like, I don't even like that. I would never want to look like that again. But back then, I was like, I have to look like this, you know? So it's just,
And
when
I
life
think
changes.
for me at least, like, I think I've learned, I'm always like, okay, well, I think the cool thing about if you have more than one kid is you get a little bit of a do-over with your mindset. I won't be so hard on myself next time, you know, like.
That's true. It's all in your head a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I'm just now starting to, because when you have a newborn, for me at least, it was the last thing on my mind. You know, you know, we both lost 20 pounds before we even got home from the hospital. Like, a lot of, if you put on 30 pounds, you're probably going to lose at least half before, you know. But it really is more about how you feel. And I feel like the better I feel, the better I feel like I look, you know.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
I don't
You're right,
always
it's a
feel
lot
good.
more mental mindset.
It is,
almost.
and you know, it can be hard because I feel like, you know, you feel like you have to start back from zero. And the first time back, because we both worked out, you worked out even closer to the due date, but I think I was like maybe 36 weeks. Definitely, you guys will stay active.
And
I
that's
feel
what
like
the doctor
helped with delivery
recommends, right?
so much. Yeah, we were both still lifting weights. You know, we didn't do as much ab stuff, but the first time back after the baby, you're like, oh my god, I can't.
It's like I could not walk.
I was going to
for, like,
ask
a week.
about abs because I teach fitness classes, and a lot of the times if the moms have C-sections, then like obviously they have trouble with doing abs and stuff. But did you notice like right now like a huge
I
change in your core?
I still don't have.
No.
I never even had a super strong core to begin with, to be honest. But I still struggle with it. You know.
I'm not even talking about like physical abs. I'm just talking about like core strength, like basically to protect your back from like back pain or just like
Yes.
anything. I mean, holding a baby out here has to put a lot of strain on your back,
It
and then you
does.
need a strong core after to
And
kind
then
of
you're
protect your back.
And then you're still holding the baby after, but
Right,
in
that's
different
true.
ways.
And I
It's
think,
really hard.
you know, we forget what our body just went through.
Yeah.
And I think it
You're like,
takes,
why is it the
even
same?
if you don't have a C-section, you know, your body just went through this huge, I mean, you're in labor for hours upon hours upon hours, and then you're exhausted on top of that. So you have to give your body time to, you know, just get back. And it really does, you know, because now the boys are 9 months, so it took 9 months to grow them, and now and I feel like I'm just now, the skin is finally starting to tighten up, you know, for me, at least.
Right, because everyone's gonna be different. But
Yeah, it's just hard. It's really hard. And if I had one piece of advice for like new moms, or if I could tell myself, it would be to understand that like your body will never be the same again. Just like get that thought in your head, understand that, and move on from it. Like, and
Right,
know that
It's
like
hard.
it is hard.
Don't dwell.
It's so hard, but it's the
Yeah.
like hard truth of like you will never look the same again. You can definitely feel good again and whatever, but like your body is completely different. And
Right.
like you might look similar or whatever, but you personally, you know, like you always see yourself differently than other
Yes.
people do. You'll always see things on yourself that be like, oh,
That's
that wasn't
true.
there before.
Yes.
Other people might be like, oh my gosh, she bounced
You
back.
look so
you lost all
good.
the
Right,
I
weight,
always
like,
said that. I'm like,
great.
you look so good.
Yeah.
You look right.
But in your head you're like, no, like because
this is
you're-
it. This is how I was.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
That's really
like-
good advice, actually.
So I don't know. I'm just now understanding that, and honestly, now like I care way less about how my body looks than I thought.
That's what
I
you
would.
said. Like when you had a newborn, it was like the last thing that you were really
Yes,
like, thinking
I think
about.
it's once you get them into a good routine and they start sleeping, then you're
Yeah.
like, okay, now I
Now I
gotta
can work on
get
myself.
This, get this
Yeah.
in check, and so I'm still working on just being nicer to myself about it all. You know, it's hard for me, but then you know you look at the baby and you created that life, so it is a beautiful
Right, and the
thing.
happiness like in your home and like everyone that gets to be with them. So
And remember too that like caring for a baby all day is a workout in itself. So like if you're like
don't get to
running
go to the gym
after,
that day.
it's fine.
I've
because-
always seen those bar baby like workouts where
Yeah.
they like literally hold the baby
Oh my
for
gosh,
like
babies
their
There was
are
at
so
one. There was
heavy.
one
Yeah.
point, you know, the boys were pretty similar when they were newborns, but then, you know, like she couldn't put Gavin down for a nap, so she was constantly rocking him. And I remember her phone one day was like 15,000 steps before like 3 o'clock, you know.
Oh.
And I had to leave the
Cristiano was
house.
napping in his car seat, you
Yeah.
know, sitting by us, and she was just still rocking. I'm like, no wonder you look great. You're just rocking
That
him
movement.
all day. Yeah, and I'm
I mean, it
sitting
really
back
does
like
help.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So it'll be okay. It won't be
Yes.
the same, but it will be okay.
It's
So
all
would
worth
you say
it.
those first 3 months were like the hardest?
4. I'd say
Four.
first 4.
Okay. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
predict for myself.
For me, the first, I feel like it was the first 2 because Cristiano started sleeping pretty well after 2 months. Like he was only getting up once a night, I think, from what I remember. I mean, there were actually 2 months I moved him into his crib, and that was the other thing is that you know this is a long time away, but I almost wish I would have moved him to his crib sooner because we were taking turns, my husband and I taking shifts, and I feel like I just missed like going to bed together, but we both wanted to get a good chunk of sleep, so we took turns.
It's really another
Right.
change you had to go through.
It is, and you don't have to do it like that. You know, that's just what worked for us. I'm
Right, you
like,
have to find
wouldn't you
what works
rather
for you.
both of us get a good chunk of sleep, even if it's not, you know, together.
At the same
So,
time. Right.
once he started sleeping better, I started feeling better.
I know,
Just
that's
depends.
crazy. I guess, yeah, I didn't think that sleep affected
Oh yeah.
everything that much.
Everything.
You know?
Just wait. Like you think you're tired when you're pregnant because you're uncomfortable and you have to pee and whatever, and then the baby's born and you're like, what was I complaining about?
Like I missed that.
It's hard. I mean, we're not gonna lie. It's hard.
It is hard. I think
But-
it's hard with, especially with the first one. But then
Yeah.
with, you know, I think I only want 2 kids. But now knowing that they will sleep eventually.
Yes,
like,
there will be a day.
But when you first have your baby, if they're not a good sleeper, some babies are good from the beginning and sleep 4 or 5 hour stretches from the beginning. And you know, my friend from work, her girls were sleeping through the night at like 6 weeks old. I'm like, I hate you.
Yeah, like I'm so jealous.
But they will sleep eventually. It doesn't ever feel like it's gonna end, but it does.
Okay, I have one more question. Like, how stressed were you the first like couple days you brought him home? Like, just like looking back, like was that like a really scary time?
You're in a fog.
Yeah, I don't think
You
the
don't
first
remember.
couple days because people are around to help. People are bringing you food. Like
You mean the first couple days home?
Like right when you bring that, like, that I feel like I'd be like, okay,
well,
what do we do?
Christiana was early, so we didn't even have. There were still a few things we wanted to have done. We had no bottles washed. We hadn't unpacked like a few. Like I was not ready.
Right.
And we were because I delivered at 1 a.m. So we basically didn't sleep the night he was born, and then the first night the baby sleeps pretty well. The second night he actually slept well too, but they both grunted like they were just like you know,
like
so
all
we couldn't,
night.
yeah, all day too, all day, all night. But bringing him home, we had like a honeymoon first couple days where he would sleep like 4 hours, maybe. Actually, honestly, he might have slept 5 or 6 the first couple, and I was like, he's such a good baby.
Like, we're so lucky. This is awesome.
Then after like 5 days, 6 days, we were like, oh my god. They stop sleeping, and then they have to build your supply, so they want to eat all day because you have to build your milk supply somehow, which is what I also didn't understand. I'm like, how is he hungry? He just ate. It's really like your body's natural, it's supposed to happen that way, you know, to get enough milk in, but it seems like torture at the time.
Yeah, I think the first couple days are easy, to be honest.
Yes.
And then it's after that.
It's when people stop coming around and stop bringing you food, and then like you realize how dirty your house is, and you're like, oh no. So
Yes, that's it.
It's nerve-wracking, like literally driving home from the hospital and then getting home and being like, okay, what now? Like that.
Right.
But like she said, you're in a fog. You're excited. This is new. So
You're so ready. Like you've been prepping for it for.
Yeah. Definitely.
And honestly, like if you could, like I remember my doctor had said, if you and your husband can each get like, if you can get 4 hours or 5 hours in a row while somebody else is with the baby, then you'll feel okay. You know, it's when you're up every hour and a half that you just can't get a good stretch of sleep that you feel awful the next day.
Which I was for like 5 months. And then we sleep.
You're a trooper. You rallied through that.
Bad. He was up like every 45 minutes. He was a terrible sleeper, but that's another story. So yeah, do whatever you.
But definitely inspired what you guys do.
Exactly.
Now.
It all happens
that's
for a
true.
reason.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's nice that you guys had each other. It seems.
Oh
like,
my God,
yeah.
I don't know what I would have done. I mean, it seriously did happen for a reason because.
I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, I mean, they were the same age. We were going through the same thing. They were very similar, and
We would go to the bar and like have wine and bring the babies.
yes, yeah, we did one time
when they were like
That's
4
the best
weeks
balance.
old.
You needed
Like,
that, I bet.
You have to. Like,
yes, and even just, and if you don't, obviously not everybody's gonna have. Maybe you guys will have babies at the same time. That would be so
Hopefully.
awesome.
Right.
But
It
you know,
does help.
lean on your friends that do have new babies. You know, because everybody gives their own little bit of different advice, and I feel like I just took little bits and pieces from everybody around.
And made it your own.
But you do have to learn for yourself too. Like
Yes.
people can tell you a bunch of stuff, but you have to figure out what works for you and your baby.
And your parents are
Right.
not always
Yeah.
right. I
Yeah.
love
Oh my
all the
gosh,
advice
yes,
they gave,
yep.
but you know, they did this a long time ago too, and I think they would want like the baby on a
Different.
certain schedule.
Right.
And
They
it's like,
mean well, but it's sometimes
They
like,
do, yeah.
Like you said, it has to. You can listen to what they say, but whatever you do has to work for you.
Is there anything exciting that's upcoming for you, or where can everyone find your page and what's
So you can find us at Bedtimes and Bottles on Instagram, and then we actually have a Facebook page too. And then our website, bedtimesandbottles.com, has all of the options. And we have a free newborn guide, which is super helpful for those first few days. That's what we wanted to make sure we gave some people something tangible that they could use like right away. That has, I mean, it'll help with sleep, but there's other stuff on
And
there
our
too.
blog posts and Instagram posts focus on different sleep tips, and newborn tips, and just things like we said at the beginning that we wish we knew that we want to tell other people. And I think eventually we are going to write a book.
Yes.
We've been talking about that, which is everything like in one spot, because I don't know, we read so many books and we just want something like small you can throw in your diaper bag that like you
Right.
can reference. And we would, when we do it, we're going to do it from both of our perspectives.
Yes.
Because like we said, all babies are different, and I feel like the book's just tailored to one kind of baby. Most of them out there, and
Right, and that's not true at all.
Right.
No,
So, right.
everybody's different. Every baby's different.
right.
Well, I'm so excited for you guys. I
Thank
hope that
you.
you're
We're
excited
excited
that.
for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
excited
for
for you guys
us,
too.
like
Oh my gosh,
eventually.
I can't wait to help you with everything.
Thank you so much for everything that you're doing, because it's seriously, it's kind of like making me feel like I can get there and like be ready, and
You
like
can.
you guys are
You
very
will be.
inspirational
You will
for
be.
other moms and future moms like ourselves.
The fact that you're even thinking about it right now, like, says a lot.
Thank you. Try. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.